Oh yeah. We have a new,
called Thermacell, mosquito repellent.
because it is like real out here, you guys. We are
It's only
getting
gonna get
eaten
worse.
alive. Okay. So lighting's kind of weird. That's okay. We're just going to run with it. No, it's good. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. So I'm going to just tell you literally start to finish my journey with it work. Some of this is going to be repetitive if you know all of it. Some of this is going to be like, holy crap, that happened. And some of this is going to be like, okay, I really needed to hear that. So just bear with me. This is recording. I know a lot of other people will want to hear this later on as well, but I really wanted to keep it to diamonds and above because I'm going to get real and I'm going to get raw and I'm probably going to bawl my eyes out at one point. So I'm just going to keep it real with you guys and I'm super excited. So let's start with my journey from I signed up and I went executive to diamond in 45 days, as most of you know. But what you don't know is that for 7 whole months, I wasn't diamond. So like executive to diamond, 45 days, but it took me 7 months in order to get my mind to where it needed to be. So that was conference for me. So I went to conference. I had been in the business for 7 months. Like I said, I went as a brand new executive. So 7 months in, I went executive. Got to conference, changed everything for me. It changed my mindset to think more about my team instead of about myself. And I only had 2 people on my team. Okay, so it's not like I was boxed for diamond or anything. It was, I had 2 people on my team. I came home, I boxed myself for diamond and went diamond in 45 days and earned that $10,000 bonus. Okay, now for 10 full months, no, 9 months, I'm sorry, 9 months, I maintained that with ease. And I mean like way over the amount needed for volume with diamond. And I was probably making 2,500 to 3,000 as a diamond at that point. And I still had my job. I didn't quit my job for a couple of months after going diamond. And the point of sharing this with you guys is in that 9 months, so like I said, I was like such a strong diamond. So November of that year, because I promoted in March, November of that year, still on the 25th, I promoted, or I, was diamond, I maintained. That next month on the 11th of December was like the biggest turning point in my business ever. So we were Christmas shopping. And I got a call from my brother's roommate that said that all he had heard was that my brother was in an accident and that somebody died. And that was all he could tell me. And I remember being 20 weeks pregnant, sitting there looking at Brian, couldn't even breathe, trying to call my dad. I called my dad like 13,000 times. He was not answering the phone because it was my dad's truck that was in the wreck. So of course I'm sitting here like, we're my dad and brother together, like all of these things going through. And I'm not going to like beat this into the ground because most of you know this story, but I think it's an important part of my story because I'm willing to bet you that a lot of you have had something tragic in your life before, maybe a death in the family, maybe somebody overdosed, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things, but this for me was so unbelievably big. My brother was in jail. Okay. He was driving the vehicle that had flipped and a poor girl lost her life. And I will never forget that feeling of knowing that he was okay, but at the same time wondering if that girl's family was going to be okay, if the other girl that was in the car was okay, if my brother was going to make it out of this, or if he was hurt, or, just all of these things.
That was really hard.
Like what had he saw, like all of these things that were going through our head. And you might be thinking to yourself, like, what in the world does this have to do with the business? What I'm telling you is that I was this strong diamond and this happened. And I think I remember going like 5 or 6 days without posting a single thing. My brother was plastered on the news as this monster. Again, I'm not going to go into all the details because we'd literally be here all night. But like our family went through the ringer, okay? And I've got the same last name as him still. So, our family just went through the ringer on all of this. My phone was blowing up from people asking me, all of these things like, did you quit your business? I haven't seen you posting. Like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, I saw on the news, your brother, like all of these things that were like coming into me. And I'm sitting here like, I just want to quit life. Like, I'm just done. I'm just done with everything. You guys, I had raised my brother. And having this happen for him He is literally one of the most incredible people in this world. And he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so this happened to our family. Wow, that's hot. Yeah. So anyways, this had happened to our family. And in a matter of 5 or 6 days, my business had gone from really good and my mindset had gone from really good to literally on the 25th being paid as a ruby. Okay. And actually, I remember I had to place like a $20 order in order for me to be paid as a ruby. Okay. So I had not only fallen from a strong diamond to a ruby with a mindset that literally, I remember, I think for Brian, it was even more hard for him because he was watching all of this happen. And, we were living in the trailer at the time at his parents' house because we had actually, the other trailer, we had actually planned to travel the country before this. And, so I remember just not eating, not getting out of bed, like not sleeping. Have you guys ever been in a point in your life where you just feel like you don't want to continue doing what you're doing? You have no energy to post. You have no energy to pour into your business because you've got so much going on outside. And maybe it's not this extreme, but I wanted to share this part of my story with you because I think a lot of you don't see the struggles that I've been through. And there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to come tonight, but that was one of the biggest. And so that was the hardest that I felt. And I remember us sitting there in court and them telling us how much money it was going to be to bail my brother out for Christmas. Okay. It was the day before Christmas or the day before Christmas Eve. We were in court and they said it was $140,000 bail was set. And you have to have 10% down in cash. Okay. And so my dad, before this happened, we were trying to get him a lawyer. And I'll never forget this. My dad turns around with tears in his eyes. He's on the phone with the lawyer. And he turns around with tears in his eyes and he goes, I don't have that. I don't have that. And just to speak to the lawyer, to show him our case, it was $5,000. Okay. It was $5,000. My dad turned around and he said, I don't have that. And my grandpa and myself, and I remember Brian and I kind of getting in a little bit of a tiff after this because my grandpa and myself were like, we have it. We've got it. We'll take care of it all. I've got it. And at that point, that was my savings, you guys. I had quit my job. I want to say it was about $7,000 in savings at the time that I had been able to quit my job. And that was like my cushion, right? But I was willing to throw it all away. Of course, it's my little brother. I was willing to throw it all away. Yet I was 20 weeks pregnant and Brian's looking at me going, no, you're not giving away this money. We need this. This is our safety net. There's no way, especially when we had just found out that I was about to be paid as a ruby. Right. So all of that security was gone. And, so when we were in court, they told us that it was going to be, $140,000, that's $14,000, cash that we had to come up with. And, my dad put the rest of it, the $14,000 cash, we used credit cards, we used part of my savings, we used part of my grandpa's money, and we got it done and we got it down. And then the rest of it, my dad put his house up. Okay. That's how serious this was, you guys. My dad put his house up. We knew that my brother was going to go to court. It wasn't like he would lose that. And so I remember it's a long drive back and forth to Salem from where we were. And I remember our drives back because we were there very frequently thinking to myself, I never want to be in a position ever again where I can't just look at my dad and say, oh, $14,000. Okay, I've got that. Here, Dad, don't even activate that credit card. I've got that. I wanted to be in a position where I'm posting about this business and what it's doing for me every single day and how much money it's allowing me to have and how much freedom it's allowing me to have. Yet here I was in this situation where I couldn't help. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. That is what brings me into how I went from diamond to double, how I got back from diamond to double. So that all happened in December of 2017. Okay. So then fast forward in January, I got my diamond rank back. Okay. In February, I maintained diamond. And in March, I promoted to double diamond with a pretty new team. And I'm saying this so that you guys know the reason why I had fallen was not only because my leadership was crap at that point, my mindset was crap at that point. I had to rebuild and I had to find brand new people. And I think sometimes what we forget when we're when we're at a point where we're not maintaining, or when we're at a point where we're feeling like our team's not working, or maybe we need a new team or whatever it is, I feel like we forget to put in the work, right? We know how to build our business. It's two things. It's signing distributors and signing customers. Okay, it's two things. And we know how to do those things. We're all diamond and above. Like, we know how to do it. And it's kind of funny. I had some conversations today, actually. And again, I'm not calling anybody out. This is not like, I'm not singling anybody out, you guys. This is like a tough love call. Y'all know I'm going to give it to you real. I hear this from a lot of people. Okay. This is not just from, oh my God, I'm getting eaten alive. Ooh, okay. So I hear this from a lot of people. This is not just certain people, you guys. So what I'm saying is, on the 25th of the month, actually, I can say this. I was talking to Fair today, and she's like, I actually see like my volume go from like 20 to 30,000, like from the 25th to the 31st. And she goes, it's mostly from Rachelle's team. And I started laughing because I was like, oh my God, what does that say about our team? We wait and we kill it. But we're a team that waits till the 25th. We see our numbers and we're like, damn, it's time to get to work. And you know what that tells me about our team, you guys? That we're literally that good. We're that good. When the fire is on, when it's time to start going, we go. Now, why in the world do we not put that fire to the test every single day? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Why? Why is it the 25th? Why is it when we're on the line, when we have to do what we have to do, why is it that now we're ready to run? And I'm not saying that this is everybody on my team that's doing this, you guys, so please do not take it that way. But what I'm saying is, it's very apparent that like when our backs are against the wall, and I think this is like this for everybody in this business, we kind of find out who we are. We kind of remember where we came from, and we kind of remember like, oh yeah, like I can do this. I know I can do this no matter what the number, because we always get back there, you guys. We always get back there. No matter how far we are, Brian and I were just talking about this, no matter how far we are, it's never a doubt in my mind. Like I know for a fact we're going to get there. And I don't know if that's my faith. I don't know if that's my belief in my team. And that's something I want to get to later on because I have some bullet points here. I know I'm like talking your guys' ear off, but I promise you this is all worth it. I don't know if it's just pure, faith. Like I said, like I feel like I personally, I don't know where the shift took place, and I'm going to get back into my story in just a second here. I don't know where the shift took place of when I decided that like, I just lost my train of thought. Shoot.
You decided.
Oh, that I wasn't going to focus on like these negative things. Okay. So it's really, really easy to be like, well, this month was kind of a slow month for enrollments, or I don't know. I keep sending out all these messages and like, I didn't really get a lot of responses. So maybe it's just a planting season, or like, all of these things that are really easy to do. Or like I was really, really busy this month. That's my favorite one. Or I had like, all these things come up and, Oh, sorry. Okay. So my point is like, I never sit there and think to myself, like, I can't sign LCs. Saying that out loud actually makes me want to throw up, because I never say things out loud like that. I don't ever say things that like, I just don't believe that they're true. For me, I just think to myself, like, I'm going to sign an LC no matter what. Like, those are the things that I'm putting into existence, and those are the things that are going to happen. I never feel like I'm in a slump, because I know for a fact in my business, I know for a fact that if I do some follow-ups and I send out my messages and I get up a post and I do that every single day, that I will sign a customer or a distributor. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no like, well, it's just not happening. Like I'm just in a planting season. I know for a fact that when I sit down and I do the actual work, the actual signings come in, right? I think we can all agree with that. Especially on like today, you guys, I can't tell you, my enrollments are through the flippin' roof. Okay. So you know what that means? Y'all are getting to work. Y'all are getting to work to the point where you decided, no matter what, you're going to send out some messages today, and you're going to get your follow-ups done today. And now the enrollments are rolling in. And what did you do differently? you put on your big girl pants and you got to work. Because I'm not saying that you guys aren't working every single day. That's not what I'm saying. This isn't like a beat on Rachelle's team. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think it's really easy for us to forget to actually do the income producing activities, the things that are going to create the income, create the results. Go ahead. What were you going to say? No. Okay. I'm going to get back to at every single rank. Nope. Actually, JK, I'm not done with Diamond. I thought I was. So when that all happened with my brother, really quick, I had quit my job, right? I had quit my job in September. That all went down in December. And I was still kind of in contact with them because I was the only one that knew how to do that job. And so the girl that they had wasn't really like working out for them. And I remember kind of weaseling my way. I'm not even kidding. I'm just going to be real and raw with you guys. I remember kind of weaseling my way back in and being like, maybe I should just like come back to work. Like, do you guys need me? Like, maybe I should just like come back to work. I started losing faith in myself in this business because I had just got paid as a Ruby. So I was like, peace out. Like, I'd rather just leave and like go back to work than like try and like have my comeback story. Right. So this was kind of right in the middle of all the things before I found out that the bail was, those amounts, and that I didn't, that I was going to do whatever it took to get to the top was my point. Okay, Remy, your tail keeps hitting me and I'm like terrified that it's like a snake or something. Okay, moving on. So I went back to work, you guys. So as a diamond being paid as a Ruby that month, I went back to work because I was 20 weeks pregnant and I knew that like I would get my insurance back and I knew that it was a safe bet, right? I knew that like, okay, but then I could just have this extra money and there's nothing wrong with that extra money. So I'm just going to go back because I just made all these excuses of like, that was what God was calling me to do. But really I hadn't asked God about it. Really, I was actually really angry with God for putting my brother in this situation. I was really angry with God for putting my business in this situation, when in reality, I should have been looking in a mirror going, wow, I brought this on with my business, not God. And looking back at everything that happened, because you guys, we can never see God like, well, we can, but like a lot of the times we don't see him until we're through the situation. Do you guys agree? You know how hard that is? Like looking back, every single court hearing, every single time that we prayed for the best case scenario, he gave us the best case scenario with my brother. Like every single time it's like, oh my God, he's facing 6.5 years in prison. Oh my God, they're going to take his license away for 10 years. Oh my God, like this poor girl's family, I can't imagine what they're going through, but they're also suing my brother for the rest of his life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every single thing that like went on, it was like, nope, he's actually only going to do 2.5. And all of those 2.5 years and all of those charges that they had against him dropped. And all of those, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like every single thing went well. And you know what else it did? It brought all of my family to God. So looking back, my brother went through the most awful thing in his entire world. Got his world rocked. And then all of a sudden, now our family all came together. We all believe in God again. And we all, because my dad had strayed, my grandpa had strayed, you know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden now we're all praying together. We're all truthfully like coming back together. And when I got to visit my brother last week, he looked at me and he said, this is so crazy because I never thought I would say this, like sitting in a prison, but I've never been in a better place mentally, physically, or emotionally. And I know that God has a purpose for my life. Now, back up. Like, would my brother have ever said that to me before any of this happened? No. So like how God was working in my life was like in his life, and how he still is the most incredible thing. And I'm saying all this, getting back to it. I went back to work, and it was the worst experience of my life, you guys. It was not what God was calling me to do. And it was very obvious that it was not what God was calling me to do. Yet I kept like pushing, like, but I think it's what I'm supposed to be doing. I really need to be helping them because they don't really have a lot of help. And I think that I just need to do this. So I'm going back to work. And full time in the middle of my pregnancy, when I'm still posting on social media, like, this business has given me so much freedom and I'm able to, I just felt like a fraud. I felt like I had failed. I felt like there was nothing that was going to get me out of that. And then each time that I went to work, I would cry. Every single day I cried and I cried and I cried. And I knew that this wasn't where I was supposed to be. So fast forward, I actually went double before I quit, before I had Huntley. So I made it, I was like, you know what, I'm back to work. This is obviously not what God wanted for me, but I'm going to stick it out because I, at that point, kind of had to stick it out. I got my diamond rank back that next month. I went double in March, and then I was able to come home on my birthday. So April 30th, Huntley was born May 28th. So I was able to come home on my birthday and never go back to work again. And as a double diamond with a new team. So that's kind of where I was leaving off, is I had this new team. And as a new double, I truly felt like I had really put in the work to get there. I knew that I had a really strong team. I knew that these girls were really hungry. And I knew that I was doing right. I was in the right place, right? So we maintained double, no problem at all. I went triple a whole year later. Okay, so what happened in between that year? That year, in each and every rank, you guys, for me, I had to learn something new. So if you guys are sitting here,
too.
yeah,
That's
it's
what
like,
you do in order to get to the next rank. You have to build yourself. You have to grow yourself.
right. And if you're not growing yourself, you're not going to grow to the next rank. Like you can't, and you can't grow as a leader. You can't. And if you're unwilling to grow your mind, then it's just going to take you that much longer. And so like, if you want to climb the ranks fast, you better be reading like 2 to 3 books a month. Like, no joke, guys, like really filling your mind with all of these things, like so much that it's overwhelming you with so much stuff, because it's creating growth. It's creating the growth that you need. Oh man, you guys, they're literally all over us. Okay, I'm gonna try and get through this. So from double to diamond, my obstacle was being a new mom. Okay, being a brand new mom, not knowing how to take care of myself, not knowing how to take care of my team, not knowing how to take care of a brand new baby, not knowing how to take care of our relationship. I think Brian will be the first. I was talking to him about what we were going to talk about tonight, and he was like, so like, do you want to like really get raw and like tell him like about us? Like, do you want to tell him about us? And I was like, ooh.
Not easy. It wasn't easy. Still not easy.
It's still not easy. No. But I think a lot of the times everybody like has this picture perfect thought of like me and Brian, or like other top leaders and their husbands. And like, you guys, we go through struggles just like you and your spouses.
And just like everybody else has.
And everybody else, not just in this business, but like, you know, I struggled really hard with like, no, my business and me being a mom comes first. And Brian got the back seat for literally 6 to 8 months of our relationship.
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
Oh.
2.5 years.
Okay, I'm talking about when Huntley was born. I'm talking about like after Huntley was born, that actually truly took a massive toll on us with my business, because I didn't know how to lead a team that large, and I didn't know how to like space it out, right? She never slept. You guys, she still doesn't sleep. She still doesn't sleep. That's just something we just had to give up. But like, my point is that I really had to decide what was important to me, what was important to us, and also really pouring into how to make this strong and unbreakable so that my business could be strong.
To be strong and unbreakable.
Yeah. Because what I was doing instead was like, well, I can't lose my business. I can't lose that. I'm holding on so tight, but like, he'll still be here. That's awful. I've told him all of this before, you guys, but this is something that I want to share with you, because I don't know that any of you, if you haven't experienced it, you will. Okay. It sucks, but it's the truth. But it's things that we don't talk about. I don't know why we don't talk about it, but it's things that we don't talk about that I feel like everybody needs to know, because you're not alone.
Someone has been through what you're going through. They've overcome it. They've conquered it. So you can too. So we can too.
Yeah. And I think that's a part of being a leader. That's a part of learning how to be a leader, is like
yourself,
going through those things so that you can now tell your team about them. So there was a time where Brian literally took the backseat, and our relationship was hanging on by a flippin' thread. And I'm not saying like we were ever going to give up on each other, or like we were going to not be together. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we needed to get back to the reason I started this business in the first place. And that was to create more freedom and time for us and our baby. Right. So like, and I didn't even know about Huntley before I started this business, you guys, but my why evolved just like yours has probably evolved. But that's the whole point. So if you're doing all of these things to like make your business, make sure make sure it doesn't fall, and like holding on so tight and you're just like barely hanging on, then take a look at what's going on in your personal life, because I'm willing to bet you that if your marriage becomes stronger, your business will become stronger. And I think that that's what you really have to see, is that you're putting the wrong things first. And I'm not saying that my business isn't a priority every single day, because it is. And I also think that I just want to address this really fast, because it's something that has come up in the past. When we started traveling, I was terrified. I was terrified that I wasn't going to be the best leader that I could be. I was terrified that my business was going to suffer because maybe I wasn't going to have enough time. But in all reality, it's all relative to me making sure that I'm putting in that work, right? And so what I noticed is that actually a lot more people have come to me potentials wise because of the life that we're living. But what I've noticed is it's discouraged a lot of my teammates. And I didn't see that one coming. And why I'm telling you guys this is that it's discouraged them, because I think all that they see is the fun and the traveling and the beautiful places, and like, oh my gosh, they're able to live this dream life. But what they don't see is me up till 3 a.m. in that trailer. What they don't see is me making sacrifices, like telling Brian and Huntley to go play or go for a bike ride so that I can get some work done.
Well, we're driving past a cool ghost town. She's working, or Huntley does something and you're working,
which is hard, you guys. It's so hard, but this is our business. This is what we chose. And so, there are some things that, like he just said, like maybe I'll miss something that she says or does, but here's the best part about this business. I get to do this. What'd she do? I get to set my phone down and say, what'd she do? Baby, can you do that again for mama? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not somewhere else where he's calling me or FaceTiming me and saying, oh my gosh, babe, guess what she did today? Like, I know you have to be at work, but like, I'm right there. I'm hearing, I'm listening, but I'm also working. And I think that that's so important, that you guys see my enrollments. I am constantly a top enroller, and I'm not sitting here to like try and, justify like that I'm working, because y'all know on my team that I work harder than ever. But my point is that I didn't see that one coming. Okay. So that was another obstacle in my business, that like I had to truly get deeper with my team and be like, oh my gosh, I've been there. Just because you see this and this and this and all these posts and like that we're having so much fun, guess what I'm actually struggling with? My leadership. Guess what I'm actually struggling with? Not signing a distributor or like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I struggle with those same things, but you guys just may not see them. Right. And so I had to really, I'm going to look like I'm like, I shouldn't say what I'm going to say. I'm going to look crazy because I literally can't stop moving, because I'm
like Huntley.
Because I'm itching my legs. You guys, the bites on my legs right now are insane. Anyways, I've been through everything that you've been through. And on my journey from double to triple, I massively compared myself. I compared myself to all the other people, because to me, double was very doable. Okay. Double in my mind was like, okay, like there's a lot of doubles and it works. Like I can get to double. Like that's pretty easy. I can do that. Not easy, but you know what I'm saying? Like I can get there. Like that was one that I believe that I could get to. But triple was like a unicorn rank. Triple was like a unicorn rank that like nobody gets to. And like, how in the world could I actually get there? Like, there's just no way. Like me, a triple diamond leader, like VIP, like, I don't know. I don't think I could do that. What had to happen between that double to triple jump was growth. It was growth. I had to grow up, to be completely honest. I had to grow up and stop comparing myself to other people around me that maybe were doing different things, or maybe were doing better than me. And I was sitting here like, I'm a brand new mom. Like I can't keep up. I don't have any sleep, and their babies sleep and my babies don't sleep. And how am I supposed to build this business? And like all these excuses in my mind of like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not going fast enough. I was putting these barriers on myself that were self-limiting beliefs. Okay. I was limiting myself thinking that they were better than me because they didn't have these circumstances that were going on in their life. When in all reality, guess what? She probably cried every day because of her kids. Or, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular,
And
you
that's
guys.
the worst thing you can do is compare yourself to others. They could be going through something worse than you or the same thing.
And you'll never know.
And you'll never know. But you are comparing yourself to them, which brings you down.
Right. And when you start comparing, you guys, you start comparing in every aspect of your life. So you start comparing like, oh my gosh, well, like that girl has lashes and I wish I could afford lashes, or like she doesn't have gray hairs like me. Like I really want those gray hair. And then you start to like get those things. Like, okay, you go and get lashes. I'm just using this as an example, but like you go and get lashes and then you're like, well, that girl has her boobs done and I kind of want my boobs done. You guys know what I'm saying? Like you start comparing to compare to compare.
And you're still not going to be happy at the end.
Exactly. And you're like in this spiral. Well, that girl's a double, but what you don't know is she's being paid as a ruby, right? Like stop comparing. You don't know what they've been through and you don't know what their journey is. Look in the mirror, find out where you're struggling. If it's comparing, or if it's, feeling like you're unworthy, if it's feeling like you can't do it because maybe you didn't get there yourself. Okay, here's a big one. So I am a mass enroller, you guys. And when I was going diamond, I built myself there. Okay, built myself. So my emerald and my ruby, like I built everything. I did it all on my own. And you know what? They fell. And they fell really, really hard. You know why? Because they felt like they didn't earn it. They weren't growing. They weren't at that level of growth to be like, you know what? We're here. Like we did this together and now I'm going to go higher and higher. Instead, they felt like they didn't deserve it and they felt like they let me down. And so they quit. Okay. If you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like, or if you have teammates on your team that you helped build and you're wondering like, what can I do to like keep them going? What can I do to keep them on track and like wanting this? Maybe ask yourself how they're feeling. Seriously, reach out and say, how are you feeling in your business? I want honesty. I want deep. I want to have a conversation where we have tears and we have a dragged out fight if we have to. Not like fight, but you guys know what I mean. Like where we exchange some words and figure out what's happening in your business so that we can get to the bottom of this. Because guess what? I've been there. I've felt unworthy. I felt like when we were making $10,000 as a double diamond and a diamond, I remember thinking to myself, how in the world, how dare I want more? I remember thinking that. I remember thinking, this is more money than I ever made. This is more money than I made in 6 months. How in the world could I want more? And I sat there like, nope, can't lead a team. Nope, can't lead a team as big as triple. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. What's the word? Responsibility, because I can't even get my own mind right. And I can't even get more than 2 hours of sleep right now. And there's just no way that I can do it. But I'll tell you what happened. I sat down one morning and I said, Brian, I'm going to do these things called Wake Up with Rachelle. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to read my devotional every single day in front of my team. And what it's going to do is keep me accountable, and it's going to keep my mind right, because I've got to wake up. I've got girls waiting on me, and I'm going to get in front of it. And this was like really uncomfortable for me, guys, like way out of my comfort zone. Like people are waiting on me. And like, honestly, I quit my job so I didn't have to like have an alarm. Okay. So like getting up at 7 a.m. every single day to pour into girls and pour into myself was like the last thing that I wanted to do. But what I didn't realize was that God putting that prompt on my heart and him telling me that I needed to do these Wake Up with Rachelle's at that moment. You guys are wondering, like, are you going to do these again? It's really, really hard to do them while traveling, you guys, because I never have service. I never have service like when I need service. And I just hate to have you guys like waiting on me and me not be able to hop on. So
they're coming though.
They're coming. Like the second that we get a house someday, y'all, that will be like the first thing that I do is those Wake Up with Rachelle's every single morning, because they helped me so much. But I decided, I've got to do something. And here's what I want you guys to take away from this. I took massive action, because I knew that all of these feelings that I was having about my business and about how I couldn't do it and I couldn't get there and I wasn't worthy and how dare we ask for more and all of these things, I knew that if I got to reading the Bible, and that I got to focusing on God and what really mattered in my life, that all of those things would go away. And so I got uncomfortable, and I made a pact with myself and my girls that I was going to get up every single morning and I was going to pour into them and I was going to pour into myself. And sometimes I talked about my life and what was going on. And sometimes I just read the devotional on the page, and sometimes I talked about it more. And whatever it was, what it did for my business was it kept me, one, starting my day right. Okay. Two, I stayed in my office after that and I worked my butt off. I got everything done on my 6 list that I wanted to do. And then I spent the rest of the day with B and Huntley, and I was able to really just pour into my business. So maybe you have a job right now and you're sitting here like, yeah, like, okay, can't just wake up and I don't have my husband home to like do this, Rachelle. Like maybe that's how you're feeling. It might not be wake up with Rachelle's. Okay. It might be that you need to stay up until midnight to get the things done that you need to get done. It might be that you need to work through your kids' karate classes. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, it needs to be some sort of sacrifice that is going to make you uncomfortable enough to grow yourself, to challenge yourself to grow. Because if you're sitting here wondering like, what is it that's going to get me to that next rank? Do you have any advice? Like there's so many people that come to me and they're like, do you have any advice of like how I can get there and what I can do? And literally my advice, you guys, it kind of makes me want to like punch myself in the face. But my advice is like, yeah, get to work. Get to work. Stop asking for advice. Stop wondering. And I don't mean that in a mean way, you guys. Come to me if you need advice. But what I'm saying is like don't overcomplicate it. There's not a secret sauce. There's not any advice that I can give you that's going to be any different other than put in the work. We do 2 things. We sign distributors and we sign customers. And if we do those 2 things, and if we always do those 2 things, and if we always know that we're never going to be done doing those 2 things, the second that you accept that, your business will skyrocket. The second that you accept that like there's never really going to be, and that might be kind of some tough news for you guys. That might be like, because I remember it was for me. Here I am, Prez. Okay. Do I get to like slow down just like a tad? Like we've been working our ass off for 3 years. Like, do we get to slow down just like a tad? Nope. Guess what? Guess why? We're not Black Diamond. Okay. That's why.
They still work harder.
Then and you know what? If our Black Diamonds are still learning, that means we need to still be learning. Okay. But what it does mean is that things will get easier. Okay. Things will get easier when you realize that we do 2 things. We enroll customers and we enroll distributors. And it doesn't matter how you get them. You know what I'm saying? It's not the latest, greatest app. It's not the latest, greatest script. It's not the latest, greatest messaging. It's whatever is working for you and your mind. Okay. 80% mindset, 20% work. That is this business. And if your mind is not right, you will not sign customers, period. I do not know how else to say that. And it's blunt and it's rude. And it's like, yeah, right. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. But you know what? If any of you rolled your eyes at that or said to yourself, like, yeah, but I'm still doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, I'm going to tell you right now, your mind's not in the right spot, because you immediately went to the negative. You immediately went to, but I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do.
It's not my fault. Something else.
Right. Blame
Somebody
game.
else. Something
Blame
else.
game. What's that word? Oh, I wrote it down. Hold up. Accountability. No. Yeah, I think that's it. Taking accountability. What's holding yourself accountable. Taking responsibility for your own actions. Okay. If your team isn't working, okay, good. My team didn't work for like over a year or 2. Okay. And then those people quit. You guys ever had a diamond quit? Whew, that's tough, right? The whole diamond leg just gone. You'll have it happen. You'll have it happen, guys. And it's not.
Don't pout about it. Don't get frustrated. Don't get mad. Don't lose yourself.
Well, for a
Get
day,
over it.
you can have a day. I give my girls a day. I have a day, right?
I don't give you that long.
You give me like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He gives me like 10 minutes. He's like, go. Say all the things that you need to say. Stomp your feet. Do your thing. You get a day. Okay, I take a day for myself. I take a day. I say, screw the self-development. I say, pity party me. Like, can't believe this just happened. I'm going to lose my mind. And then the next day I wake up and I say, today's a new day. And yesterday didn't define what I do today. And you know what? I build a new diamond. And that's what I've done. I also have had diamonds on this team that go diamond by me building them, and they're still running their ADBV auto shipment. There's a diamond straight up on my team that's literally almost double organically. All she does every single month, run her auto shipment. Doesn't talk to me, doesn't anything, okay? You guys, some of you are so worried about what your team is doing that it's stopping you from continually building. Okay, you're so worried about fixing the team that's there. And I'm not saying to not pour into the team that's there, because absolutely pour into the team that is there and working. Okay, no more dragging dead legs. No more dragging dead legs. If there's a dead leg that have 3 to 4 months in a row, no, I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say 3 months in a row. If there's a dead leg on your team that you are continually getting commission qualified, that you are continually not getting responses for, that you are that you are continually having to build yourself, pull somebody up. If there's nobody to pull up, build a new leg. Take the hit. You know why? Because you take the hit for a month or 2, okay? Give yourself a month. You take the hit for a month, whether it's you lost your rank or you take a pay cut or you lose a friend, right? That sucks. It sucks. You take the cut and you build somebody new, and you stop dragging those dead legs, because you will always be chasing your tail.
In the long run, it'll be beneficial.
And another thing that I always tell my team, and I know you guys have heard this before, but if you're not back to rank by the 25th, don't be charting for your next promotion. That's what I teach my team. Y'all, I could be charted for ambassador 10 times over. I'm just being real. I could be well on my way to ambassador 10 times over. But I don't want to get to ambassador, to chase my tail, to chase my, and it's not that the people on my team aren't working. It's not that. It's that we're not foundationally ready to be the leaders that we need to be yet. Okay. So, and that's just the truth, you guys. I have massive growth that needs to happen before I can be an ambassador leader. And I know that, and I accept it. Right. So that's why every single day I am growing more and more and more and more. And I know that until I am a strong presidential on the 25th, and he is a strong triple on the 25th, that I am not even looking at an ambassador chart, because I know where I'm going and I know that I'm going to get there, but I want to get there with the right deserving people. And so should you. I want to get there with the people that are on this call. I want to get there with the people who are ready to take their business to the next level, who are ready to stop worrying about where their team's at and stop worrying about whether haps are working or not, and stop worrying about all these things that truthfully do not matter, because what matters is doing the work, signing the customers and signing the distributors. When you continually do that and you continually teach them how to do that themselves and you duplicate the system, you will not even have time. Sorry guys, I'm getting so fired up. You will not even have time to worry about Joe Schmo over here who's not commission qualified. You don't have time, because you're building your business. It doesn't matter what they're doing over here, because you're in your lane. You're helping your team that is commission qualified. You're helping your team that is wanting to do this. You're helping your team that is talking with you daily, that is ready to do this business. Those are the ones who are ready to run with you. And those are the ones that you should be focused on and thankful for. How many of you woke up this morning, or yesterday morning, and instead of being grateful for where your volume was at, felt defeated and upset and frustrated and maybe even a little bit mad? Me. Okay. I prayed on it. I didn't look at my numbers. I didn't look at my numbers until like 2:00, you guys. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I watched like 7,000 Stephen Furtick videos, and I was like, Lord, help me to be grateful for whatever I see. Help me to have perspective for whatever I see. Help me to know that every single person on this team worked their ass off to get to the point that we are at. Help me to be grateful for the ones that have stepped up and kept with me and held my hand and continued to go through the fire with me on all of these. Help me to be, you guys, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I saw those numbers and I was like, I was speechless. I was speechless, not because I was mad or like ungrateful. It was more of like, whoo, thank God I did all of that self-development before I saw that. That's how I felt. And I'm not saying that it's like the most devastating thing, because honestly, I was just talking to B before we got on here. I know we're getting back. I have no doubt in my mind that we're getting back. And I always keep it real with you guys. I always keep it real. But we are straight up. We were over 16,000 away from our rank. Never, ever have we fallen that hard. Never, ever have we been that far. Okay. Now, I share this with you. I hate sharing this with you. I hate sharing this with you guys, because not because I feel defeated, or not because I like don't think that you guys should hear it. I hate sharing it with you because I don't want you guys to get discouraged. The reason why I share it with you is because I want you to understand that numbers sometimes are low, but it's what you do with them that determines it. So like, if I wouldn't have done all of that self-development and something was telling me that I had to, that's a whole nother thing. If something was telling me that I had to do that self-development, because I remember last month, be the first one to admit, I looked at my numbers at like 5 a.m. when I woke up, had done absolutely no self-development. And I looked at them and almost crapped myself, because we were 11,000 away, 11,000 away last month. And I was like, oh my God, we're never going to get there. And my whole day was like turned upside down, and I was a freaking mess, and I was rude, and I was, and I was like losing my mind. And I'm like, how in the world, like, how can we get there? And then all of a sudden I sat down, I prayed, I did my self-development, and I was like, whoo, we got this. It's cool. We got this. And guess what? We did it 2 days early. But you know what? I doubted that for a second. And so I knew that this month, I knew going into it that I really needed to pray, and I really needed to get my mind right. And I really needed to make sure. And let me tell you, if I freaked out that bad on 11,000 last month, like, wish y'all could have seen my faces at the 16,000 this month. No, seriously, we've already almost cut that in half. And I'm telling you this,
everybody,
and yes, I'm not saying we, thank you for saying that. Seriously, because I'm telling you this because this team, our team, moves mountains. Like, I fully believe that I believe in this team. And that's something I really want to talk about. There is times where you won't believe in your team. There is times where there will be people on your team that you question, like, oh my gosh, could I have done anything different? Like, was it me? Do they just not see this? Do they just not want this? This kind of goes back to, I've straight up had a diamond just walk away. I've had multiple diamonds walk away and not want this anymore. And I question, like, should I have done something different? And was this me? And was it just not their time, and whatever? And my point is, there is a time where you will question your team. And what I want you guys to remember in doing that is to make sure that you are staying grateful for every single person that is still with you. There is rubies on this team that work like they are presidentials, okay? There is rubies on this team that work like tomorrow isn't going to come, and they're still ruby, and they're still trying, and they're still going at it, and they inspire the hell out of me, okay? And there are diamonds on this team that don't get themselves commission qualified. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter the rank. What it matters is what you're going to do with your work, what you're going to do with your business. And when you decide that it doesn't matter who quits or who comes or who goes to a different company or who stays and just ghosts you, or who literally you hand a paycheck to and they're like, peace out, don't want this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of that matters. What matters is what you're doing with it. What matters is if you still see the light at the end of the tunnel of, like, the reason why I started this was to make a paycheck. Okay. So why are you focused on what others are doing? Stop looking side to side. Start looking. I said this in my team chat today. So if you guys are in it, you heard this. Stop looking side to side. Start looking forward and down into your team. Forward and down into the ones that truly want this, to the ones that are signing, to the ones that are coming to you, to the ones that are showing up on every training, to the ones who are not making excuses. Y'all, if I could tell you how many things I go through, like I told you just a smidge of what's happened in my life. I could go into what happens or what has happened with my mother, who is a drug addict, who is in and out of jail still to this day. She was literally just in jail like last month. And, still calling me, still
getting calls to
still
county jail,
still trying to get money from me because she didn't pay her things. Like there are so many things that go on in my life that are bigger than just like, oh, Huntley is teething today. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's bigger things in my life that you don't see me share on social media because frankly, it's nobody's business, right?
It just brings others down also.
And yeah, and I'm not trying to just like bring others down, but to my team, I think it's so important that you guys know that like my life is not just bliss all the time, yet I still show up. I still show up every single day, even when I don't want to. I'll be honest. I could be messaging right now. I could be messaging for my own business right now, but I don't want to be because I want to reach down. I want to speak life into my team. I love this stuff, you guys. I love getting on a Zoom and seeing your faces. And it's funny because I am like so not a blue, but this kind of stuff fires me up. I'll be up all night. No joke. Like yapping his ear off. Like I'm just so excited for where our team's going. And I just can't believe this. And I'm just like on top of the world from doing things like this because I love getting to see your faces and I love getting to see what this business does for you. So back to the unworthiness really quick, and then I'm going to wrap this back up. What I had to overcome before we went triple was that unworthiness. And what it was me comparing and feeling like I wasn't worthy of more money, right? And now my mindset is so much further that when I see our paycheck, if it's not what our biggest paycheck has been, right? So our biggest paycheck was $33,000, okay? I told you it was real raw. I'm going to be honest with you guys. $33,000 was our biggest paycheck. When I see anything less than that, I straight up want to cry. Now, that's not because I feel like it should always be like that, like it has to be money, 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 money. That's not what I'm saying. When I know what I'm capable of, okay? I know what this team is capable of. And I know that month when I had $33,000, that there were people on this team that had $8,000 paychecks and $10,000 paychecks and $6,000 paychecks and $2,000 paychecks and money that changed their lives. Okay? That is when everything changed for me. And I went triple prez back to back when I started looking at the people on my team and I started saying, what could that do for her? What could that do for her? What could that do for that family right there? And now we have mamas home with their babies. And now we have people coming home from work. We have husbands coming home from work. We have husbands taking time off from work. We have, you know what I'm saying? Like
helping you guys motivates her even more.
Yeah. And I'm so not a yellow, but I think I have some yellow. After I had Huntley, I think I've got some yellow, you guys. I cry a lot more. No, it's yellow is not just crying. No, I'm just saying
I'm
like
part yellow.
Brian's a lot yellow. And he grounds me. He grounds me, you guys, because he really pulls back that red when I'm like, they just gotta do it. And he's like, hold up. What if somebody said that about you? What if somebody was like, hey, I know you're struggling right now, but like if you just do it, Rachelle, just get it done. And I'm like, oh, yeah, why do I say that? Why do I do that? Why am I not? Where's my empathy? Where's my compassion? And that when I realized that my team needed to know where I had been and my team needed to know that I actually truly understand where they're at, then I realized that I was a good leader. And I realized that I was worthy of more. And I realized that my team was worthy of more. Okay. And I think that when you believe in your team, even if they don't believe in themselves, that is when everything starts to change. Okay. So like, I was going to do this and Brian was like, I think you should. And I'm like really nervous to say it, but I think I'm going to. I want you guys tonight. This is like some homework for you guys. And I'm going to do this too. Okay. I'm going to do this too. I want you guys to reach out to somebody that you've been comparing yourself to. Okay.
You don't need to tell anybody you're going to. You don't need to talk about it. Just do it.
Yeah. So I want you to reach out to somebody that you've been comparing yourself to. That might be a leader above you. That might be a sideline leader. That may be your best friend, whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be in the business. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to be with your business. I want you to reach out to somebody. And like I said, you don't have to tell them that you're like, hey, I've been comparing myself to you. But what I want you to say to them is, I am so unbelievably inspired by you. I love watching you. And I just want to know, can we like collab? Can we like, if it's in the business, can we like partner together, and can I just kind of like see what you do every single day? Can we get on a Zoom together?
Instead of hating on that person or comparing yourself. I mean,
right. And it doesn't mean like, I'm not saying that you guys are hating on other people. No. Like what I'm saying is like, for me, when I compare, I've done this before where I'll compare to the point where I'm just like, am I not doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing? Like, I'm not going fast enough.
Almost
like
going in circles.
Right. But instead, if I partnered with them and I was like, oh my gosh, like you inspire me, because the truth is that you're jealous of like a little bit jealous, right? Like a little bit jealous. So like you want to reach out and you want to say like, listen, you inspire the hell out of me, because obviously if you're watching, like here, you might not even think that you're comparing yourself. So let me give you guys a little bit of clue, because this is what I realize, and he calls me out on it all the time. Why are you looking at their page again? Do you guys have that ever? Like, that might just be me. But like, seriously, why are you looking at their page again? Why are you comparing yourself? And I'm like, no, I'm just getting some ideas. Like, I love her stuff. And that's the truth, for real. Like, there will be times where I'll be like, I just love everything that she does. Like, I seriously do. But there are times where maybe my mind's not right for that day, that I'll be like, man, that was
her picture
killer.
Looks better.
Yeah.
How'd she get
oh my
that
gosh,
angle,
I want those leggings, or like I just want to look better, or like she looks way skinnier than me. Do you guys know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be about the business. I know I'm rambling about this, but my point is just like, reach out and tell them that they inspire you, because I'm willing to bet you that that person has also looked at you and felt the same way. Okay? I'm willing to bet you that if you partnered with them instead and you were like, I want to know what you're doing, because I just love everything that you do and I just love your page and I just wanted to give you a compliment. Okay? And when you do that, you open that door to stop the negative spiral. You open that door to stop the inclination in your head that maybe you guys have like some beef or anything. You know what I'm saying? It's all built up in your mind because you are projecting those things. So reach out to somebody that maybe even in the past, maybe it's not right now, in the past you have compared yourself to, and give them a compliment. That's the task. Give them a compliment. And I want you to tonight let it go. I want you to decide that you are no longer going to compare, because like Steph said in the chat, comparison is the thief of joy, you guys. It's the thief of joy, and it will get you nowhere. And you know what? That person isn't losing any sleep over you checking out their page. Okay? That person is not losing anything. They're almost ambassador. And you're over here like, can I just get some advice on like how to get to my next rank? Get to work. Stop comparing. Do you know what I'm saying? Really internalize everything. So, okay, I've kept you guys for a whole hour, which is what I wanted to like cap it off at. I just wanted to tell you that we're all real people. We all go through shitty times. Okay, I'm just going to say it. We all go through busy times in our life. And you know what? It's life, you guys. Things are going to keep coming up. It's just how it is, whether you have a real job or a real job. This is a real job, y'all. This is a real job. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether you have a 9-to-5 or a 24/7, 365, because for real, that's what I call this business, because it's not that I'm working 24/7, you guys. It's that I'm working on myself 24/7. I am constantly asking myself, and I want you guys to do the same. If you have a rough day, like, okay, what did I do yesterday that I'm really proud of? Because you might not have had like the greatest day in your business yesterday, but were you a really good mom to your kids? Were you a really good wife to your husband? Like, what did you do yesterday? And praise yourself for it and recognize yourself for it. And then know that today doesn't have to define tomorrow, and wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to be better than I was yesterday. And when you do that, and when you're constantly making sure that you are better than you were yesterday, then you're not worried about Joe Schmo over there doing whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not worried about anybody else. You're worried about you, and you're not worried. You're not worried. That's the key. You're not worried. You're at peace. And you know that if you just do the 2 simple things that all of you know how to do, whether you haven't signed anybody in 5 months or you signed somebody today. These dang mosquitoes. You know what to do. Sign loyal customers and sign distributors, and make sure that you're not scrolling, and make sure that you're not, comparing, and make sure that you're not doing the things that are not going to bring in those income producing activities. Okay. Because this business is so simple, and it's so simple to duplicate. But y'all, we're a bunch of women, and there are times where we get in our own head, and there are times where we want to be more dramatic than we want to be. And there are times where, we internalize and overthink. And there are times where, there's just nothing you can do other than look to God or look to the universe. Or even a friend, and just make sure that you're getting your mind where it needs to be, and you're always working on yourself. And if you're working on yourself and you're signing customers and you're signing distributors, then you will get to where you want to be without ever worrying about any numbers, without ever worrying about any non-working teammates, without ever worrying about anything but yourself and your own goals. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I love you all. I hope that this was beneficial. I know I talked a lot, like always, but I just wanted to share with you guys the struggles that I have been through, so that you know that I'm there with you, and that I'm working my butt off with you. Okay.
Let's all go ambassador
tomorrow. Okay. Now, I love you guys. We'll talk to you later.